This kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how it's gonna look. We're gonna call Griz good for now. Well, as you can hear, I should say good enough. At the end of the video, I said everything on Griz was unscathed. We got a correction to that. Right after I did that close, I got in the truck to leave Sand Hollow and made it about half a mile, and the rear axle sounded like it was going to come apart. But there's something really, really ugly going on inside the differential. Ken just pulled it in the shop. There it is. I'm just going to get it racked up and figure out what the carnage is.
There's what we already noticed, is there is that much backlash.
Well, go ahead and rotate it to where it starts to move the tires.
That's a lot of movement.
That's a lot of movement.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Let's get that cover off and. And it broke those welds again.
Oh, wow.
They didn't really tear them off the housing, off the casting. They just broke the weld.
Wow. There's apparently a lot of pressure right there.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to figure something out on that.
Yeah. I don't need that truss coming off while we're in the middle of a...
No.
Of anything.
Nope. Lots of things get ruined if that truss fails.
Yep. And we have a really bad day, and
somebody comes and recovers us.
Yeah, we break our wrecker, we call another wrecker.
Yeah. There it goes.
I heard something fall.
Survey says everything's there. The heck?
There wasn't anything that fell, because there's nothing in there that would have been from that.
Wow.
You find something on the other side?
No, nothing. Everything looks good here, but look how much backlash that thing has.
Yeah, come here, look at this. There's supposed to be about like
barely
a quarter of that. I mean, that's like
Huh. Did you just loosen up?
No, because those are still where they need to be.
See if those backed off.
Is that something that happens? That was backing off?
Yeah,
Not really. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, they're still tight.
They're tight. That is really strange.
Need to pop the pinion out, pull the pinion support out, see if we see anything in there.
Yeah, let's pop the pinion support out. Make a mark on that dumb thing, if you would, please.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, there's 6 different ways it goes, and I can never remember which way, so you just put a little paint mark on that.
That. So with Paul's, when we had to rebuild his rear end, we kind of flopped that. In fact, I'm actually going to wipe that off. There's too much sand there. I'm putting it on this side. It's cleaner.
Light.
It doesn't matter. It's, you see, I'm putting a mark. There we go. Looks like it's a good thing we got that pinion guard. It looks like it hit a few rocks. You can see the drive line did right here. Kind of did.
Get beat up on that one rock.
Hold on.
You're gonna get your drive line or something.
Yeah, drive line should start to
It's not any dents. It looks like you just brushed it just enough to take the paint off. Yeah, nothing to worry about. That's cool. That would not have hurt it at all.
Okay, I don't know.
see anything here.
I mean, you hear it.
I think it's just got sand in the
That just sounds like sand up in like the seal area.
pinion. Still, there's still preload on those bearings. That all looks good. That's crazy. That makes no sense.
Doesn't sound good when you're turning it.
The clicking? What's the locker?
That's the locker.
Oh, that's
That's what
normal.
they do.
That's what they do, because I think that brake's hung up on that one.
Wow.
But everything seems to be okay. I have no idea. It's got like 300-400 miles on it. It's never made a drop of noise till I tried to leave on Saturday. We'll reset the backlash, run a pattern on it, see what it does. There we go. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get that carrier out.
We started messing with this, adjusting it to fix it, and the threads in this side just feel terrible as we were adjusting this collar. So we're gonna pull it apart and see why it feels like that.
Yeah, I think what happened is me running it so hard, all the impact load, the carrier is trying to, or the ring gear pushed the carrier over this way, and I think it may have ruined the threads on this adjuster. So we're gonna pull we just pulled the shafts out. Now we're gonna back these nuts off. And yeah, now it feels okay. Before I had to beat the tar out of it to get it to move.
You just did.
Oh no, like for like 3 rotations I had to beat it to an inch of its life.
What he just did right there is normal because there's pressure on it
Yeah.
from setting the preload on those bearings. So, yeah, that should
Should do it. Seems like we were just here. Weren't we?
put on Paul's.
Yeah.
You got the carrier?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was on your back on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here. Trade you. This is a little bit better.
Definitely better. Fewer people watching.
Fewer bits of sand getting in her hair. I'm gonna watch out. I'll go this way.
How can you tell?
We'll spin this out. This one was fine. It was right where it needed to be. Ugh. That doesn't feel good at all.
Is it the housing itself, or?
This don't look too bad.
Housing has a couple. It's got some
Yeah, look at
hairs of thread sitting in it.
Yeah,
Oh, right
look
there. Right there. Look at that.
that. Yep, we sure did.
So you ruined the housing?
And we didn't help it out much, that's for sure. Trying to figure out what our options are.
Sure would be nice if we could fix it.
Yeah, it definitely took those threads out.
Never seen that before?
No.
Nope. Never seen that before.
We've seen these axles with people make rear steer buggies with big power, with big tires, and they hold up.
I mean, we were hard on it, but we weren't that hard.
No. What does this side look like?
That sounds
How's-
fine.
Yeah, but how does the threads feel on it?
It feels great.
Well, I mean, it's pretty loose. Just like this other one was. I'm wondering.
What you wondering? Why?
Well, that's way loose.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's see how that one feels in it.
If they got put in the wrong spot?
No, or if it just hurt the adjuster.
If we can put a new adjuster. There we go.
Oh,
Nope. Still loose.
Oh yeah, this adjuster is way screwed up. It won't even hardly go in on this other one.
But is that still too loose, Chad?
Yeah, they're not a very tight fit at all.
Man, I wonder if we can. We got lots of threads. I almost wonder if we could.
Yeah, there's only 2 more threads because it sits about right there when it's adjusted properly.
But I'm just wondering if we could take 2 of them, put them together, and have it bottom out more over there. It'd be a lot closer, more as many threads as we could get.
But look, the threads end right there.
Oh man.
It's using all the threads. That side, I think, has more threads than this side.
Yeah, there's fewer threads on the side that has all the load.
Way fewer threads.
That's kind of dumb.
Are these the same? Are they the same width? Nothing?
Yeah, they're the same.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll have to noodle this for a little bit and see what we can do. I don't want to put another housing in it because it's probably going to do the same thing.
Is that how they all are with fewer threads, you think? Or
I would think so. I would think so. I just have no idea why this one decided to give up the ghost. So, okay, I'm just going to regroup, do some research, and figure out what my options are. See if anybody else has run across this before. But yeah, but Paul beat his way harder than this. He beat it so hard that it actually destroyed that bearing right there. And then that was what caused his ring and pinion failure, was that bearing was missing, and he didn't tear the threads out of that. So I don't know. I'm perplexed. Okay, well, I'll update later.
The following day.
After some deliberating and processing and soul searching, figured out the best course of action for this was to take a shim and machine it so I can stick it right there. And I had to machine it because, as you can see, this bearing sticks out past the race, so it has to slide in here like that. And even at that, it's still pretty tough to get in. And the reason it's hard to get in is because the ring gear has to go around this pinion support piece right here to engage with that pinion gear. It looks like it's going to work because now I can bottom this out. It's completely bottomed out, so there's no way that it can push through the threads again because it's already pushing right here on that axle tube. So there's nowhere for it to go. I think I'm just going to stick this back together real quick, double check my backlash, and get everything all tightened down. Not going to show you that, that's pretty boring, but I did want to show you the solution that I came up with this shim setup. But after I get that done, then I'm going to have to go back to this situation here. You probably remember when we ground it all out and re-welded it. And some of the weld held and some of it didn't, but mostly it didn't, but we knew that. Probably what we're going to have to do is take another piece of plate and put on the truss right here, so it comes out flush with this, and then we'll add a piece to the cover, and then we'll drill and tap this for the cover to help support this right here, so it doesn't move. I think it'll hold up once we get that other piece welded on, so the cover bolts on, and hopefully that'll work. There's really not any room to do anything else because of the way the gas tank is. So it's not like I can add more bulk in here to support this. It has to stay kind of tucked in, otherwise the gas tank will hit it. Have this all ground out, ground all that old broken weld off of the truss and off of the housing, and then I made this piece, simple piece to make. Beveled it really good right there on the edge so we can re-weld it to the housing. So then I can re-weld it along the housing right here and grind that weld flush. There won't be much pressure on this weld. It's just going to kind of help supplement. The main reinforcement's going to come from the bracket that I build on the cover that's going to bolt to this bracket. And this is what's going to take all the load. You'll notice I ran it up here to the link mounts. That's where all the pressure is coming from. The housing's trying to rotate back this way, the top of it toward us, so it's peeling the cover off of the housing, and that's what was breaking the weld. So if we can transfer that stress to the differential cover, so it has all of these bolts, it's got 13 bolts there that can transfer to, and this cover has a nice thick 3/8 thick flange on it, so that will easily handle the stress that these upper link mounts are putting on this truss. So I think once I get that done, this problem will go away. There's the finished product. You can see that I just welded a piece on the cover here, and it bolts onto that plate we welded onto the truss and onto these upper control arm mounts. So with a little luck, that'll help keep this thing from peeling off of the housing. So speaking of housing, I don't know if it's gonna live or not. After I got the carrier back in, after getting this all built, I ran a pattern on the gear set. It doesn't look so good, so all of this may have been a wasted effort. So I'm going to pump some gear oil in it, we'll go drive it, we'll determine whether or not this 14 bolt continues to live under the back of this or not. So no idea, but oh well, that's the way life goes. Sounds good on the drive side, but as soon as you let off the throttle, yep. Okay, well, I think it's drivable if I'm nice to it, but I'm just gonna have to start rounding up parts. Looks like there's a Dana 80 in my really close future. Okay, well, I'll run this at highway speeds and see what we get. If it's acceptable at highway speeds, then I think we'll just leave it for now, and that'll buy me some time to round up some parts and get a new rear axle put together. So here's to hoping this is good, but you know, it's kind of a bummer that this housing got ruined, but that's to be expected, the laws of physics being what they are. So, but when you give it all the reambars and the whoppas, that's what happens. So all right, well, let's head down the road, see what it sounds like. decel noise that you can barely hear over the tires, but I think that's livable for now. So, but I'm definitely going to have to be careful with it. So, the way the pattern looks on the gear set, it's probably not going to take much to actually break teeth. So, but at least it's drivable and usable. Yeah, even on early Saturday mornings, there's still traffic everywhere you look. Yeah, that rear end's quite noisy at low speeds. Okay. Well, I'm going to call that a wrap on this one. I'll get back to the shop, and we're going to get back on Kenner's truck. You haven't seen that in a while. So he's getting things wrapped up for school and actually has some time now to work on it. So we'll get that pulled in the shop. We're going to get going on this front end, see if we can get some steering geometry and some suspension geometry squared away after doing the frame widening. And well, it was an S10, so the geometry wasn't good at all to begin with. So we'll get on that. We got some Camaro and Chevelle parts that we're gonna adapt and see if we can correct some of the problems it has. So, but we're gonna call Griz good for now. Well, as you can hear, should say good enough. But anyway.
Finally got off the phone and decided to help.
Well, I was pushing.
Ain't it?
But this motor doesn't do nothing, remember? You gotta go boom, 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 boom. What?
Super easy.
Flintstone.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a truck that you could actually maybe Flintstone. I don't go anywhere fast. No, but you know.
You wanna go somewhere fast?
I'd like to go somewhere.
Fast?
Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of having a car, I thought. It's not necessarily to do it fast, but to go somewhere, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you could Flintstone and go somewhere. Yeah. Why I take a car, especially if it's more effort. Because it has AC.
All right, Kenny, you got those steering knuckles?
Yeah. There's more.
Okay. You want to grab those? And
Oh, two different knuckles?
Yep.
What's wrong with these ones?
Everything.
Oh.
Yep. If you'll notice, where that tie rod is, it's got negative Ackerman. See how that's inside of where the ball joints mount? So I don't know if you noticed when we steered it full lock, that the outside tire turns tighter than the inside tire.
Yeah, it's just the opposite way.
It's backwards from where it needs to be, and worth that being so far in, our tie rod's too short. So with these other knuckles, we can make our own steering arm and get some Ackerman angle. So, which means we need to have this pivot point to the outside of our ball joints, and then that'll get it to steer correctly, and then we'll get some tie rod length. And then with the taller knuckles, we can probably get this upper control arm to have a little bit of angularity, so we can get some camber gain and generally have it just work.
Yeah, that's complicated stuff.
It is kind of complicated stuff, but something that needs to happen, so this truck will go down the road good. And if Kenner wants to do some parking lot slaloms, he can. So
I'm not saying I won't.
Where are the knuckles?
They're right here.
yeah. So these knuckles are a 2-inch drop A body, F body steering knuckle, and they're also about 2 inches taller than a stock F body knuckle, which is roughly at least an inch taller than these knuckles. The reason we're getting them is because it has these bolts right here, and then we can bolt on our steering arm. And we have a lot more options for fixing some of our steering geometry. We got this knuckle on and playing with it. It looks like it's gonna work. I'm gonna need some different upper control arms. As you can see, this ball joint angle's about maxed out. So I just need to find, or maybe we'll end up building some flatter upper control arms to get this to work. But we'll lower the end of this control arm, so we'll build longer spacers here, and that'll keep our spindle height, because this spindle's about 1.25 inches higher up than the one we took off, and our ride height was about where we wanted it to be before. So the ball joint taper is slightly different, but I've got a reamer that will take care of that. And then I need to find some steering arms. The ones that I thought I had, I cannot find anywhere, so I might have got sick of tripping over them and threw them away, which wouldn't be surprising. Actually, it would be surprising. I never get rid of anything, so I don't know. It's either that or I found a really magical hiding spot for it, so I have been known to do that a lot. So that's about as far as we can go with this. We know the concept's good. Just need to track down a couple more parts. And while I'm looking at that, we got the guys over here gonna start on the next project. Now that we know that the body's gonna stay where it's at, we can get the brake pedal situation figured out and build the brackets to hold this guy under the floor.
What we doing?
Making a bracket to hold the brakes underneath the truck.
Nice.
They'll get plugged in one spot.
Just using a little spare tower part. Lop that off.
Little waves, so keep it just like the door.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Kenner, what you doing?
I'm doing a little bit of math here, sir. Did all the little diagrams so I know what sizes to drill or where to drill everything. I'm just figuring out what size I need to drill. These holes to mount this poor sucker up here. So that's a 3/8. Looks like we're drilling 3/8.
Hey.
Now we're just waiting on Tyson.
Yep. Finally got that done?
Finally. Whoa. Is it a little toasty? Nah, it's not too bad. Jeez, Corbin, you gotta treat Tyson nice. Crack the whip. Poor guy.
Ah.
I think comes to your truck, Tyson's gonna sabotage it.
We're gonna build him a Ford Prius.
Oh, okay. Where's that square?
Who said I was gonna take it?
Huh?
Who said I was gonna use it though?
Nope.
Did I hear Prius over here?
Yeah, Corbin's making fun of Tyson, even more than Mom does. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was possible.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. I guess he's the man for the job, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. 7/8.
Do you need the holes? Do you need the holes?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
we'll bolt that on.
Oh, we'll bolt it onto our
We'll
bracket.
bolt it onto our bracket. Because that'll have to be able
Serviceable.
to come in and out to be serviceable. Well, you should be able to just make that mark all the way across.
Oh, yeah.
And probably all the way across this way too for your other. So that's all going to be on the same plane. There you go. assuming your plate's fairly square.
It's kinda.
Kinda? Okay.
We're guessing it's square.
It's hard as heck to cut that blade guard clear up.
Oh, it is, yeah. It really is.
Trying to get over that band.
2 1/4.
See how square it is. It's not overly. I think we should just do a diagonal measurement
Okay.
when you're done, and
Yeah, double check.
Double check.
Okay.
Make any adjustments there so that it'll actually bolt up when you're done.
Yeah, that's always beneficial.
4 1/4. All kinds of stuff.
Oh, we're spot on.
Nice.
Spot on.
Good deal.
Yeah, this one come out to your outside of your mark.
Okay, so it's up top.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. You know, top like that?
Yep.
You look like you're in a daze there, Kenner.
I'll bet.
All right, you got the post-lunch sleepies?
Kinda. Also, this is an interesting mess.
Yeah, it is. This is kind of a hot mess, isn't it? Okay, we have this bracket in. They were able to build this plate to bolt to here, and then we just took a little scrap piece to help hold it all in place so we could see what we've got. So now we've got that going through the hole, and we get looking at it, and this pivot point isn't parallel with the rest of the bracket. It's like, it looks kind of stupid. And the other thing is they built this to where the brake booster's on the wrong side of the arm. So when you come at it and look at it from here, the brake booster's all but touching the trans, and tons of room between it and the frame, and that's going to make it really hard to do. And just to give you an idea how far over it is, this is the original hole for filling the master cylinder. So we're a long ways away from that. So I think what we're going to end up doing, we're going to pull this all apart and see if we can redo this point to where this slides over the other side of this brake booster rod, and then we can slide that whole assembly over. Then we can straighten this piece out so it's perpendicular to the mounting plate like it should be, so that the brake pedal goes through the floor correctly. So okay, well, there's nothing like rebuilding brand new parts, so let's get to cutting and voiding warranties. Kenner got this pot back out. You can see exactly what I'm talking about with this being so far out of square. And then what we're going to do is, this originally came in here on that side of it. We're going to set it up to where it comes in on the other side of that guy, like so. And that will help slide that whole thing closer to the frame rail and line up with the original hole in the floor, so we can put brake fluid in it and not have to cut into the center part of the floor so much. So okay, I'll dig out a piece of 7/8 and I'll just chuck it up in the lathe and machine it, make it work for this guy. What's your next project, Kenner?
I just need to cut this thing off.
Okay, that probably won't take you very long. So what else do you have that you can be doing? Do you know?
Not really, no.
Okay. All right, well, let me see if we can find a project for you. Kenner did a little grinding. I made this new piece in the lathe, so it's about 1 1/4 inches longer than what was there, and the real bonus part is it's square. Yeah.
You want to explain the little groove?
You're so busy throwing me under the bus there, Kenner. Why don't you finish throwing me under the bus there?
Apparently numbers didn't quite work in his head. So he's like, oh yes, 3 1/8. And then he built it, pulled it out of the lathe, and I was like, that doesn't look even kind of right. So I grabbed the other one, and we compared it. Where did that piece of We compared it. And I was like, that's shorter.
Even shorter, huh?
And
so, I don't know what I did. It's not like I even transposed it. I thought it was 3 1/8, and it's 5 1/4. Or
yeah,
something,
it's like
so.
the numbers were just gone.
Yeah, I don't even know. But you were there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can you tell me what the measurement was?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Okay, I can't either. I just must have made that up while I was going. So, oh well. At least they made it longer.
Yeah. So it was about the perfect length.
Yeah.
We had to cut like a quarter off of it?
Quarter off of it, yeah.
So, yep,
yeah,
that worked out.
That worked out. So, yeah, you want to hold it up. You can show that it's actually square. Kind of lines up with things. It's square that way. And it's squarish that way too.
It's a little
Maybe
off.
it's Kenner's crooked head that's throwing me off there. So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, okay, go ahead and get that booster on there. Oh yeah, actually, you need to drill a little hole.
Yeah, it was like I put a little hole in that guy.
Yeah, drill a little hole in that for grease, and then throw that booster on, and then we'll throw it back up in place. Now that we spent the whole day trying to figure this out.
Yay.
Okay. All right, we got that brake booster jammed up in there. Looks a lot better. Lots more room around the trans. And now it's in line with the original master cylinder hole there in the floor, as you can see. But it's not quite so far away from the frame now, too. Kenner's gonna make a template to, for this, here and here, and then one to angle down on the back side, and another one to angle on the front side. That'll help hold that all in place. We won't be able to finish that whole job until the cab comes off, but we can get the majority of it done and get it to where it's going to stay. All right, we got as far as we could with the front end on Kenner's. So we put the S10 stuff back on. We're waiting on some upper control arms, and I need to find some drum brake hubs to work on those Camaro spindles. So but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. We got as far as we could on this master cylinder. We to go any farther, we'll need to pull the cab off, but you can see it's in place and it's pretty sturdy for now. But we'll fully box this all in before it's all said and done. So now we're as far as we can go with that. We're going to put the front clip back together now and see what we can do on the end of the frame. Since we widened it, none of this stuff's going to work anymore. But we need to figure out how it's all going to play together before we cut the frame rails off. We want to have everything figured out, a big picture of what it's going to look like in the end. So Tyson and Kenner are going to work on that while I go track some parts down. Okay, they got the front clip on there, and we're just kind of checking ride heights. It's going to sit just a little bit lower than that when we get the knuckles on it. This truck is going to sit a little bit higher than a lot of them do, probably about 8 inches under the running board. And just because our roads are so terrible here, and this truck will get driven quite regularly, so, but the tires that we'll be putting on are nearly 28 inches tall on a 20-inch wheel, so it will fill the wheel well out. I think it'll look good. This kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how it's going to look. Tire will be stuffed up in there just a little bit more, but roughly this will work for us. So they're going to pull the front end back apart, and we're going to cut the end of the frame off, and that's kind of what we're going to build on the end. This will be the existing frame rail, and then we're just going to take some 2x4 and do a pie cut to drop it down a little lower and bring it on the inside, and then this will be the rail that comes out, and the bumper will hold on right there. So just kind of a quick visual. It'll make a little more sense once we start cutting this apart and make our pieces. Well, we're out of parts and we're out of time, so we're going to call her a day. Next week, we should have a whole bunch of parts for Kenner's truck. I think we're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff about steering geometry because of these parts we're going to be playing with. And also, we'll have an update on Caden's Blazer. It's been quite a while since we've shown anything on it, so come check that out. Till next time, remember, you'll never have an ounce of regret for being a little too kind. Thanks for watching.